What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Renegade. If you can't tell by the video, continuing the painting process of my Volvo 245. Now, in the last video, I started spraying paint. And I told you that I got the car painted. It was a very long and involved process. What it involved was I sprayed the primer, I waited for it to dry about half an hour according to the instructions. Then I wet sanded it to make sure it was nice and level and flat. Then I sprayed my color coat. I actually waited overnight because of the time that it got to be when I finished spraying the color coat. The next morning came out, wet sanded, and got ready to put down the clear coat. Now, I had wanted to do a couple little things. One thing I wanted to do is, on my car originally, in most Volvo 240s, there's a pinstripe that runs down the length of the car. I didn't want to lose that, but I wanted to change it. Now obviously I had sanded it because it needed to be flat and everything like that, so I need to put new pinstriping down. So I actually put down the pinstriping on top of the color coat and under the clear, so it'll be nice and protected. What you need to know now is that everything has been sprayed. The clear coat is on. The only thing left to do is to cut and buff it. That is to say, wet sand it to take out any imperfections that are in the coat, and then buff it to get it to that real nice shine. Now obviously, we've had some humidity in the course of the days and the nights, so my clear coat's got a little bit of a haze to it, a little bit of a fog going. But with some wet sanding, that should come up. I'm hoping that comes up. Oh boy. If not, I'll have to sand it down as much as I can and then possibly throw another coat of clear on it. Luckily I still have the paint for it. So, let's take a look at the car. That's right, folks. We went black. And if you notice, double red pinstripe, and you can actually see the reflection of my hand and my rings in the paint. But when we cut and buff it, this is going to be, I think this is going to be a mirror finish. It's going to be wonderful. Like I said though, we got some hazing going on, so that does not look wonderful. But I think after some sanding, that's all going to come up and it should be good. I did do a little test yesterday right here. You can see I stopped sanding here. This is the spot where I sanded. That used to look like that. That's much better. I hope that comes out well on the camera. I also did the same here. Sanded, non-sanded. There's my line. So a lot of cut and buff, and we should be good. Again, I'm not going to show you all that, so I'm going to start sanding and I'll come back in a little while and show you guys the progress. Alright folks, so obviously it's been a little while. This sanding takes a while. It's been 2 full days of sanding. So it's a big car. But the entire car is now wet sanded. Check it out. Now I know, for a car that I wanted to be glossy, that doesn't look glossy. Don't worry, it hasn't been buffed yet. I still have to buff it, and basically it's just wet sanded, and I did hose it down. So there's a lot of moisture on here that if I wipe, you know, watch. It's just gonna come off. So I gotta do that. Gotta buff the entire car now. Plus side is, it's a hell of a lot easier than the wet sanding, because this entire car has now been wet sanded by hand, and my glasses are askew. Yeah, the entire process of this wet sanding was done by hand. So a little on the tiring side, a little on the tedious side, and very much on the time-consuming side. But now I want to start buffing, and we should see a real nice, dramatic change. Look at that. Got a little more buffing to do, and remember, this is bare paint with just some compound, but that's the wet sand. This is the buff. Just a quick wipe. Yeah, now I gotta do it all the way down the rest of the car. But when I'm done, this should look awesome. All right, so as you can see, guys, there was a lot of buffing and a lot of wet sanding, and it's taken quite a while. Yeah, but the car is looking really sweet. Now I gotta put all the trim back on and the lights back on, and it's a lot of work. You know, it's amazing because there was so much prep work that was done. Like, a lot of work goes into prepping the car. You gotta sand it, you gotta tack it, you gotta take care of all the body work so that everything is nice. And that takes days. And then you paint it, and that takes maybe 2 days. It took me 2 days to do it. You know, with proper time in between to let it dry, wet sand, wipe it down, let it dry, paint it again, and do that 3 times. Yeah, and now comes all the other stuff. The wet sanding, the polishing, putting everything back on, cleaning up everything as I go, because I don't want to put something on that looks like crap onto something that looks so nice. I mean, the paint job looks unbelievable for what it is. Now, I'll flat out admit, this is not a show car. Don't expect a show car quality paint. Okay? This is a really nice paint job on a car that is going to be daily driven. That's kind of the point. Now I'm going and cleaning everything up, cleaning up the badges, retouching them where they need a little bit of touch-up paint. I am going to repaint the grille so that the grille is really nice and looks brand new. By the time everything is done, this car should look almost brand new. Unfortunately, I ran into another problem. While trying to put the windshield trim / gasket back on, the windshield broke. You can see the impact point was right along one of the clips. Just pink and done. So what started with a new glass for the back continues on to be a new glass for the front. Whatever, at least now I know that this is going to be on correctly. Now, unfortunately, the guy who was installing my glass wouldn't let me film, so I don't have that footage to show you, but I can tell you that I went with Safe Light, and man, they did a great job. The dude who was out here doing it, very professional, made sure to take care of everything as he went, cleaned everything up before putting the new glass in, the whole 9 yards. He did have a little bit of an interesting time, because I actually did not get the replacement glass for 1987. If I did, it would be the same exact thing as what I had with the clips on the glass. You know, there are clips that go on the glass, then the glass goes in, and then the trim gasket goes on that. I didn't do that. I decided that because I have to replace this and because I've had issues with it, let's just go ahead and upgrade it. So I actually got the glass for a 93. The only difference being that the 93 glass has the trim gasket actually attached to it. It's all one piece rather than 2 pieces, 3 pieces, however many pieces you want to count. He was a little concerned because of the difference in the years and the difference in the glass, but I reassured him, just as I'm going to do to you guys, the glass from a 93 fits all the Volvo 240s. They're all the same body. Whether it's the 244, the 245, probably even the 242, the front section is exactly the same. I can tell you with absolute certainty that my 87, from the nose of the car, from the front bumper of the car, the furthest part forward, all the way back to the back doors, is the exact same car as the sedans. And the rest of it, all the way bumper to bumper, is the exact same as every model 245 wagon. The difference with this is going to be that I'm going to have less wind noise because of it being a more secure trim. And I don't have to worry about it peeling up. So if you guys have to put a new windshield on your car, I highly suggest you go with the later models if you've got a 240. I think 91, 92, and 93 all use this gasket system for the windshield. It's the way to go, trust me. If you're upgrading your car or if you're replacing your windshield, go ahead, upgrade this to the new model. It's way better. And now I've got that on there. And now the next step is going to be, because I am anal retentive about this job, I'm actually going and I am restoring the badges that go on my grill. Yeah, I'm insane. This is my 100,000 mile badge. Even though my car hasn't done 100,000 miles, it's done like 600,000 miles. But these are hard to come by. I'm very proud of this, that I have this. And my Lambda sound badge. Because again, I'm nuts and I'm a big Volvo fanboy and I have this. So, but you can tell they're a little rough for wear. I've already kind of cleaned up the chrome on this one, cleaned up the brass on this one, so now it's shiny. Now I actually have to paint it, and then I can put it back on the grill, which I will repaint, and then I'll put the grill back on the car, the whole 9 yards. For this, I actually just used a high grit sandpaper and then some steel wool just to kind of clean up the brass. Same with the chrome on this. And I will repaint them, get them back on the car, and when everything is done, like I said, this car should look like a brand new car. I hope you guys have been enjoying these videos. I know this one's a little piecemeal. It's been taking me a long time to get this done. It's a little bit here because we got bad weather, and then like I said before, I've got a lot of stuff going on. You know, it's been a mess. Maybe one of these days I'll update you. I'm not sure, because it's kind of some sensitive stuff, so I don't know. But anywho, I hope you guys are enjoying. I hope this inspires you, if you've got one of these cars, to go ahead and do this work. I'm enjoying it though. It's a lot of fun. Well, it's a lot of work, but the results are really cool. Until next time, guys, go keep rock and rolling. Don't you take care of business. See you next one.